Hi, boys and girls. So today we are going to be discussing the next story of our Like Mine series in this unit, and it's called Imagination Like Mine by Latasha Ann Perry, who we've become very familiar with over the last few days. So we know we've read Hair Like Mine, we've read Skin Like Mine, now it's Imagination Like Mine. So, today's objectives, we will be able to express ourselves through our writing and illustrations, and we will also be able to demonstrate our understanding of some text features we're going to see in the text today, so repetition and rhyming. So we're going to first start out with this intro activity, all right? So we're going to be really focusing on self-expression and self-confidence today, boys and girls. So I'm going to open up a Jamboard, and you all are going to be invited to it, and you're going to be able to contribute. So you can see here I have expression and confidence in their own individual boxes. So what you're going to do is you're going to take out a sticky note from the Jamboard, and you'll be able to share it with your classmates and myself, and we will be going over this all together. So if you've never heard of the word expression before, no worries. Maybe try to come up with a word or phrase for confidence, or that reminds you of confidence. Maybe when's a time that you felt confident, or what does confidence mean to you, or what does it mean to express yourself, things like that. So just a few words and phrases. So I just put some examples in here. So for expression, we have some sticky notes already saying, telling someone how we are feeling, being honest about what we are thinking, being in touch with our own thoughts. For confidence, I had put believing in ourselves and having a positive attitude. So I'm going to give you the next 5 minutes to just kind of contribute to this Jamboard, and then we will go over it as a class and then head into our read aloud. All right, boys and girls, so now it's time for our read aloud, Imagination Like Mine. So I just put here, what text features should I look for? Which text features should I be looking out for? So I had put rhyming and repetition, all right? So look for certain words that are rhyming. Remember, they don't have to be right next to each other. They could be every other line. Also look for repetition. So look for words or phrases that are being repeated often, all right? All right, let's head in. And here we go. An imagination like mine runs wild and free, but of all the things I can pretend to be, there's not a thing that's quite like me. I love to play pretend, it's my favorite thing to do. Look at me, I'm a beautiful mermaid swimming in the ocean blue. Deep down under, my tail glides me through as I swim down with the clownfish and the humpback whales too. I heard a few rhyming words in there. An imagination like mine runs wild and free, but of all the things I can pretend to be, there's not a thing that's quite like me. That sounds familiar. I'm imagining I'm a tree, standing tall and strong as could be. My leaves sway in the wind side to side, with a birdie on my branch in his nest to hide. Hide from the scary storm that's coming through. Rain and thunder, lightning too. So glad we're just pretending, aren't you? An imagination like mine runs wild and free, but of all the things I could pretend to be, there's not a thing that's quite like me. That is a line we've seen now. This is the third time. So every time, right before she comes up with a new thing that she's pretending to be, she goes on this with the same line, that an imagination like hers runs wild and free, but of all the things, there's not a thing that's just quite like her. Flapping high above with my wings spread wide, can you guess what I am? An eagle, that's right. Fearless and free, I soar through the sky, perched on a treetop as I check out the sights. Here we go again. An imagination like mine runs wild and free, but of all the things I could pretend to be, there's not a thing that's quite like me. Now, could we make a prediction of what we think she's going to come up with next? Right? She's coming up with a new thing that she's going to be pretending to be. Flowers smell pretty, so that's what I'll be. In full bloom with bees getting nectar from me. Bold purples and reds, yellows or blues, pinks and oranges, so many colors to choose. A rainbow flower is what I'd like. It's my imagination, and I get to decide. An imagination like mine runs wild and free, but of all the things I could pretend to be, there's not a thing that's quite like me. I'm noticing a sense of confidence in herself. So, of all the things she could possibly be that her imagination's coming up with, she still knows that there's nothing quite like her. She's celebrating her uniqueness. Trick or treat, I heard them say as they passed me by on the porch where I lie. I'm a giant pumpkin, orange and round, carved with a smile. I'm not scary at all. My light inside flickers bright as darkness falls. An imagination like mine runs wild and free, but of all the things I could pretend to be, there's not a thing that's quite like me. I'm as beautiful as a mermaid and as strong as a tree. Just like the pumpkin, a light shines bright within me. Fearless like the eagle and bold like the flowers, look at me. I have human superpowers. I love to play pretend. It's my favorite thing to do. But of all the things I could pretend to be, I can't imagine anything that's better than being me. So there we go, boys and girls. This little girl was very confident in herself. She expressed herself by coming up with these unique things that her imagination was running through. She was very detailed, but she still always reflected back to the part where she had mentioned that out of everything she could possibly be, nothing is quite like her. So now we're going to be moving into our independent activity, okay? So throughout this unit, we've been seeing some different writing styles. We've been working on similes, repetition, descriptive language, rhyming. So what we're going to do now is you are going to be working on a writing assignment. So I'll be passing out papers. And this is something different than we've ever done before. So we're going to be coming up with our own endings to a story. And it's a story that starts off something very familiar to all of us that we've all been through. And here we have it. I've written the beginning for you. On the first day of school, I walked into my new classroom. I was surrounded by my new classmates and my new teacher, Mrs. Butler. The day started off pretty normal until ... Now, you are going to be coming up with the ending to this story, all right? So you're going to be writing 3 to 5 sentences, more if you have it in you, all right? You'll be taking 20 minutes on this. I want you to try to use some of the writing styles that we've worked on throughout this unit. So maybe add a simile in here or there. Remember, we're using like or as to compare two things. Maybe some repetition. So just like Miss Perry used in Imagination Like Mine, before every new thing that the little girl was pretending to be, she had that same line she said every time, that nothing was quite like her. We have descriptive language. Really, really, really describe what you're trying to say. Maybe how people are feeling, what they see, what something tastes like, how something looks. And rhyming. Maybe try to add some rhyming words in there. All right? So this is independent. You're not, talking with one another, because I want you to use your own imagination. Express yourself. Why wasn't this first day of school normal anymore? It could be anything. Use your imagination. And when you're finished, you will have the opportunity to share out with the class, or just maybe in some smaller groups or partners, and share your own ending to the story, all right? And if you finish before the 20 minutes ends, or maybe we'll take an extra 5 to 10 minutes after, flip over the page and give me a visual of what the day might look like, or a piece of that day. If a big purple flaming dragon swooped in and completely messed with our day, maybe you'll draw a picture of the dragon on the back, all right? Whatever your imagination tells you, all right? Good luck, boys and girls.